What's up, y'all? It is Thanksgiving. Well, if you're watching this, Thanksgiving has passed, but I am presently filming this on Thanksgiving. I hope that you and your family had a great Thanksgiving. I hope that you behaved responsibly because we are still living in a pandemic. So I hope you behaved responsibly. That's what I'm going to say. As for me, this is my third Thanksgiving in a row that I'm spending it by myself, but it's fine. Third year in a row that I'm doing the solo thing, but second year that I cooked dinner. My first year in Los Angeles, I went to the Hollywood Roosevelt, and had Thanksgiving dinner there. And it was cool, I had a great time. But last year I decided that I wanted to cook. Since I couldn't go to New York, go home to Brooklyn for the traditional Thanksgiving dinner with, my Brooklyn family. Last year I decided to cook. I was gonna go, to Brooklyn this year. I was like, fuck that, I gotta go back. But we're in the middle of a demi. And even though people are traveling, I personally don't think it's safe to travel. I wasn't gonna do that. So, ended up cooking again, but it's fine, because I can cook and I know that shit's gonna taste good. Nothing like too extravagant or spectacular. Baked Cornish hens, collard greens, dressing, potato salad, yams, of course the canned cranberry sauce. You've got to have canned cranberry sauce. Nobody wants that lumpy, with real cranberry. Nobody wants that shit. We all grew up on the canned shit. That's what we like. Additionally, I got myself a bottle of Uncle Nearest whiskey. Everyone's been talking about Uncle Nearest for the longest, so I decided to look for it. Found a place near me that sells it. Got myself a bottle yesterday. It is the night before Thanksgiving, and while I clean up and cook, decided that I'm going to try this Uncle Nearest whiskey that I got earlier today. Picked it up from the liquor store. Of course, the proprietor of the liquor store wasn't wearing a mask. Neither was the customer that came in after me. But I found Uncle Nearest out here, so I'm gonna get into it. Cheers. Oh, this is good. This is good. I tried to resist the temptation of opening it yesterday. I was going to save it for today, but by the end of the night, I was just like, fuck it. Let's go ahead and get into this. So, as a matter of fact, let's go get into it again. So yeah, now I'm about to fix my plate, sit down and have Thanksgiving dinner by myself again. That looks really good. I'm going to enjoy. Bon appetit. Cheers. All right, let's dig in. That was nice and delicious. I'm now suffering from what we call the itis. Don't use that term. You can't use that term. I am ready to lay down and take a nap. Before I do, though, I want to mention two things. First thing, I'd gone on Twitter earlier in the day, and someone posted a picture of like a lot of instant foods, processed foods, something like stovetop stuffing, like Kraft macaroni and cheese, and like a store-bought sweet potato pie. And, the person posted was just like, caption this picture. And you know what it was? It's supposed to, you're supposed to make fun of, whoever's meal this was, because they're not making homemade, they're not making stuff from scratch or like homemade stuff, it's just like, oh, you're using like store-bought stuff, you're using, boxed stuffing or whatever. And I didn't look at the replies right away because, I knew what it was. It's an annual thing, like, around the holidays, but it's also just like an everyday thing to kind of rag on people who aren't making shit from scratch. And I think my caption was something like, losers on Twitter will make fun of this, but at least I won't be hungry on this pandemic Thanksgiving. And then when I looked at the replies, I saw that more and more people were just like, oh, you're trying to food shame during a pandemic, like, what's wrong with you? Just like whatever, maybe some people can't cook, this is the best they can do. Maybe some people don't have the energy to like really go into the kitchen and cook from scratch or what have you. And I was really pleased by that. I was pleased to see that people were taking that stand. Cause yeah, you know, the shit, it's not funny. Food shaming is never funny, in my opinion. It's one thing to make fun of someone who tries to make a sweet potato pie and it comes out gray. I mean, you know, it's just like it's good-natured ribbing, you know. It's like, you know, they tried, you know, and they weren't successful. It's good-natured ribbing, but it's another where you're really trying to make a person feel bad for their choices, for like, you know, choosing Kraft macaroni and cheese. Just like, really? The second thing, once again, back to like social media, a friend posted how she was going to be spending Thanksgiving alone and she had no idea why she was like cleaning up the crib like she was going to have a house full of people. I wrote to her and I was just like, well, do it for yourself. That's why you're doing it. I mean, sure, you know, it's normally, you know, if you're going to have people over, you know, of course you clean up your house, your apartment, whatever. It's great, you know, to do that. But just do it for yourself. You deserve that. You deserve to treat yourself like you would treat any special guest coming to your home. So, sure, clean up. Have a nice spick and span apartment or house. Sit down, plate your food on your nice dinnerware. Dress up. Put on something that makes you feel good, rather. This is why I put on my Brooklyn t-shirt and nice jeans and shoes and everything. Because even though I'm not going anywhere, no one's going to see me, it makes me feel good. I did this for me. I cooked that meal for me. I could have just had like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I wanted to cook a nice dinner, even though it was just going to be me. And I did. And I feel very good about that. So that's all. I certainly hope that you had a great holiday. I hope that you ate to your heart's content. I hope that you played it smart and safe. And that's about it. That's all I got.